So now I will give the floor to Kristyna Tomanova, Master of Psychology for the Life and Mission of Barbora Plaskova. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kristyna Tomanova. I am a real sister of Barbora Plaskova, and I will tell you something about her life and also my experience over the last 7 years. This was my sister. So, my sister graduated from the philosophical faculty, and she passed her examination from Czech language and English language, as well as literature, psychology, and pedagogy. At that time, she had everything she wanted in her life. She had very good relationships, she had money, she had prestigious degree. However, she was not satisfied. She often asked, "Where is my satisfaction? I still lack something." And she was asking this question. I should be happy. My friends tell me I should be happy. I have everything I need, I want, but I'm still not. So there must be something bigger, something more unique, something genuine and honest. Suddenly, in one meeting with Yara, her questions about life were answered. She just witnessed his life, his model of his genuine, living, unique life, and she found what she was looking for. She's so kind, I would say, that she wanted this for everybody. So she set on her mission. Her 2 goals were the following. She wanted first to reach her enlightenment for herself, because she knew this was everything that mattered to her and everything that makes sense for her at that moment. And her second goal was to make Yara's teaching famous so he can inspire other spiritual seekers like herself, and that they can reach their own enlightenment and expand their own lives. She felt that after the 40 years of communist regime, Guru Yara was a revolutionary, inspirational, and necessary personality for the Czech people. Barbara's journey is very long. She was very successful in organizing massive sold-out workshops and seminars for Guru Yara all over the Czech Republic. So that means that her first goal was fulfilled. She published his teaching into beautiful books. She's an editor of his teaching and of his books. They have already published about 20 books, and as you have heard from my colleague, they are still writing, or Master is still writing, and she is still editing, even from the detention. She built the very popular and very successful spiritual institute in the Czech Republic, Poetrie, which was the instrument of spreading the teaching. She traveled with the Master to countless religious places, monasteries, over the Europe and other countries in Asia, such as Nepal, India, Thailand, of course Egypt, Himalayas, Vietnam, Indonesia, and of course Philippines. They built an ashram in the Philippines. You have already seen it. And it was built from scratch. There was absolutely nothing, just paradise, trees, and they built it with the local people. And it is a very beautiful place at the moment. She has been running the center ever since. She reached actually her enlightenment in October 2010 with the help of Guru Yara's guidance. It was 14 years after their first meeting. So her second goal was fulfilled as well. She became a respected guru herself, and she officially co-founded the Path of Guru Yara in the Philippines and the USA, as my colleague has already said. In SIARGAO, they set up the spiritual center in SIARGAO, and they visited Philippines in order to find such a beautiful place. So thanks to the vision and endeavor in this beautiful location, they built a very beautiful center where a lot of students from the whole world are coming. They employed also local people, so they are very, very popular by the local people because they gave them jobs, they looked after school, they even supported hospitals, tourism, sporting competitions, and they even helped with the damages caused by the hurricane a few years ago. Because of the spiritual center where she put her blood, sweat, and tears into, she now considers this place her home and the people living there as their family. This is my sister organizing the building and construction activities with the local people, and these are some photographs of the place. Like, people are practicing yoga on a high roof in the middle of the trees and palm trees. And it is just, as you can see, just at the coast and by the ocean. After she became a guru herself at her age of 40, at this pinnacle moment, she also became a mother. Her son is called Bono, and he lives in the ashram. Barbora actually regularly went to extend her visas to SIARGAO, and she did this very regularly every 2 months. However, on her last visit in April 2015, she was told that her passport had been revoked and she was arrested. Her son was only 10 months old and she was still breastfeeding them. This was the last time she saw him and he saw her. Today, she hasn't seen him for 2.5 years because Czech authorities arrested Barbora and they fabricated a crime which she never committed, and this crime was, or this case and verdict was rightfully reappealed due to the lack of evidence. Nevertheless, she is still in the detention for 2.5 years. I am her sister and a psychologist as well, so I don't have to tell you how hard it must be for her, for her son. And you know that the first 3 years of child's life are very, very sensitive period. Barbora is also a single mother. That means that there is actually nobody who can look after Bono in a good way. So it means he is only being brought up and shuffled among the staff of the ashram. Unfortunately, Czech authorities never showed any interest or concern what is going on, what is going to happen with her son, how is he, and how to solve this desperate situation. They have already been robbed of 2.5 long years of their life. The first words when he was on the phone with her were, "Mommy, come." I will show you a photo of my sister with her baby Bono before she was arrested. This is him a few years later, and this is how he looks now, or what he looks now. She could not see him make his first steps. She has not had the opportunity to celebrate with him even one of his birthdays. Actually, recently I went to visit my sister in the detention, and she had some time, about few hours, where she could meet her son after the 2.5 years. I was very excited about it, but I was then very unhappy to see that Bono absolutely has no idea who she is. So all of us were really looking forward to this moment, and her son just doesn't know who the lady was, who is actually his mother. So it's very, very hard for me, for my whole family, my parents and Barbora's parents. Bono, as I could see him also for the first time, Bono is really deeply affected by this lack of his mother and by the separation in this sensitive period of his life. He doesn't keep eye contact very much with anybody. He doesn't talk, although he should be already talking at this age. And I can see he is very, very suffering. Although, or besides this unbearable pain of losing her son, also Barbora's health is suffering a lot. In the detention, there is actually no medical aid. So she has suffered all of these problems and health issues. Nausea, poisoning, tonsillitis, gallbladder stones, etc., etc. She had some inflammation because of her C-section in the past, and all of that is actually handled with zero medical help already for 2.5 years. I cannot imagine what would happen to the family, to our family, to Bono, if she dies there. And I have to say, there were people who have died there already. So, the basic Charter of Rights and Freedoms for her and for her son were absolutely violated, as well as Geneva Conventions, because there has been an attempt of kidnapping of Master Guruyara, and my sister was supposed to be the next on the list. It means all of these rights, which you can see here, have been violated. Over the last 7 years, we actually could see, and we could see more and more evidence how the case was fabricated and how it affected not only these two people and Bono, but also hundreds of people in the Czech Republic and the followers of Guruyara. I will give you some of the examples that happened to me or to my friends or fellow believers in the Czech Republic over the last 7 years. I have to point out that I just went to seminars, practiced yoga, did some feng shui and astrology. And a few days later, after one of such seminars, I had a commando of policemen in my flat. My husband had to watch it, although he is not part of our religious society. We had a quite brutal police raid. Our IT technique and all our external disks were removed. Where we had our work, it means that the source of income was totally discontinued for me. Some of the religious objects the policemen took were never returned. I know that what happened to some other of the followers at the same time. Policemen mocked their religious orientation, they humiliated them, they threatened them with years and years of imprisonment, which was totally not true. After that, there has been a long, huge media campaign which was tailor-made and which was devastating for everybody in the Czech Republic who followed in the past Guruyara or liked his teachings. A lot of people suffered nervous breakdown because of this media anti-campaign. They had health problems, psychological problems, relationship problems, because friends and family no longer wanted to communicate. There had been work issues. There had been people who have been 7 times fired from their jobs only because of affiliation to the teachings of Guruyara. There has been a very bad court that is called Kangaroo Court. Absolutely no fair trial possibilities that is actually obliged and must be observed by law. So fair trial was not present at all. I was even lied into my face by the ex officio lawyers, yes, about some facts of the case. The witnesses didn't even show up at the court. etc., etc. Although the appellate court has annulled the verdict, they have still been in prison for 2.5 years, so nothing is really moving on, nothing is happening, yes. Then the members of the anti-cult movement serve as some kind of experts at these courts, which is also a very problematic issue when they have their own religious beliefs. My sister's passport was illegally revoked, which we found out later. So, and this is probably the sole reason, this is the passport, why she is actually and Master Guruyara detained. So there has been some Interpol misused, and more and more cases and evidences of persecution. I have already talked about the kidnapping attempt and the interfering into asylum proceeding by Czech embassy. So I have really a well-founded fear for my sister, for her son, for the spiritual master Guruyara and all the believers in the Czech Republic, because we are highly threatened for our lives. My sister is suffering immensely, as I have already said, and I think that the basic human rights are totally violated. At the moment, it seems that in the Czech Republic, you have just two options. If you want to follow the teachings of Guruyara, you can either go to exile or you have to deny what you believe in. Otherwise, your life in the Czech Republic is really, really hard and difficult. So, although the Czech Republic presents itself as a free country, unfortunately, I do not feel so. It is immensely hard to undergo such persecution and to have a person in my family as my sister who is being mocked on a daily basis in the newspaper. There is no protection for minorities. My colleague will speak about it a bit later. And I guess it really comes from the communist regime, and where at that moment actually religion was quite forbidden at that time. So we are kind of young democracy, and I think we are still learning how to deal with religious minorities, religious issues. I come from psychological circles, and I am quite surprised that even among psychologists, the matter of faith and religion is not very welcomed. So I think we will have to fight in the future also for our rights and for the awareness of religious belief and religious freedom. So my last words is just ask and plea for help, because I think this situation is very urgent. We have no time. My sister has no more time. Guruyara has no more time. Bono has no more time, and we cannot wait any longer for this situation to be solved. We are really fighting for our day-to-day survival. I believe Czech party will be forced to answer for this action. However, realistically, this may take quite a long time, as it has already taken. I'm hoping maybe for this UPR session to be some kind of a change. So I would like to ask you, on behalf of my sister and her son Bono, help respect human rights and end the suffering of all the members of religious minorities and their families in the Czech Republic. Thank you for listening.